financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to Law and Reality. This segment of Law and Reality is going to be called Let's Be Careful Out There. Remember Hill Street Blues?
Oh, yes, I do remember.
Well, this is about let's be careful out there in the context of two things you see a lot of information out in the media. One is reverse mortgages, and the other one is an article that I saw just the other day on student loans suggesting a strategy for a way of taking out student loans that I think is dramatically different than what most people advise, and I think it's something you have to be very careful about. So we're going to cover two topics today.
Well, there's more than one type of
mortgages.
there's more than one type of advice out there, and even idiots give advice.
Yeah, and there's more than one type of advice. You mean there's good advice and bad advice?
There's good advice and there's bad advice.
And there's middle of road advice?
No, I don't think there's good advice and bad advice, and I think this article
Is bad. But
is clearly
on
bad.
the student loans, we're going to get to that. I want to start off with reverse mortgages as the first one. Now, what is a reverse mortgage?
Well, it must be. It's clear to me. If I take out a regular mortgage, I pay the bank, so a reverse mortgage must be that the bank pays me.
Is that where they came up with the name from it?
I have no idea.
I suppose it is. The correct name for a reverse mortgage is the world is full of acronyms. The last segment of Law and Reality, we covered HELOCs, which were home equity lines of credit. This one is the reverse mortgage, which is the home equity conversion mortgage,
Heckams.
which is like a hiccup. It's a much better definition than saying a reverse mortgage because it does describe what you're trying to do. It's a mortgage that allows you to convert the home equity and take advantage and use it. That's the concept. It's available for seniors age 62 and older, which I have a real problem with that whole concept because that means once you're 62, you're quote-unquote a senior.
Yes, Grandpa.
That means I'm still a junior because I have
no.
not crossed that line.
Not a chance.
Yeah, I think so. If you're not a senior, you're a junior.
Uh-huh.
Or middle of the roader. What comes between junior, and senior? Nothing.
It depends on
I'm
how
still a
often you
junior.
get your hair
I'm still
dyed.
with you. I'm still with all the guys in the room because I'm not 62 and older. Now, here's the thing about a heccup.
They're all laughing for the audience that cannot see the cameraman.
If you watch the commercials and you see Henry Winkler, the Fonz, you see Robert Wagner, It Takes a Thief, which is probably an appropriate term for the reverse mortgage in some respects. We'll get to that. And you see Thompson, the
Fred
former
Thompson. No, I think
former senator.
It Takes a Thief with former Senator Fred Thompson is.
No, I don't know. I don't want to go there. And that's
I'm just
your
kidding. I'm
opinion.
talking about Congress in general being a bunch of
okay.
thieves.
All right. Now, here's one of the things that they say. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau just came out last week with a warning that the advertising relative to first mortgages is misleading. And it said these celebrities create a comfort zone for seniors, but the ads are inherently misleading. And let me give you what I think is the biggest misleading line that I hear in those commercials. And I heard the Fonz say it. But on the Fonz, do you know who the Fonz even is, you little guy over there?
Yes,
Youngster.
I do. Happy Days was on from 1974 to 1984.
And you were born when?
67
All right, so you were 7
7
years old. Okay.
to
Well, it was-
17.
So you were like a youngster watching it. So you watched the originals?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I love that show. Richie Cunningham.
Did you know that
the
Richie had a
Fonz.
brother on the first year of the show, but then he was written out of the show?
No. What was his name?
I don't remember, but I know he had a brother. Chuck? It was Chuck.
Oh, I do remember. I do remember that. Thank you, Dave, in the background for Chuck. Now I completely lost my train of thought, but I will get it back. So here's what I heard the Fonz say. It's a federally insured loan. And now it's FHA insured. And I've heard that term my whole life dealing with real estate, and I've always known right off the bat that when it's FHA insured, just like we've talked on the show, who's insured?
The bank.
The bank is insured, which means if you
Yeah,
don't
but what,
pay the
what
loan,
they're trying to do in that commercial with that language is instill a sense of
that you're
legitimacy.
insured.
Yeah,
No.
but it's all. Yes, I understand. But
the other day we were doing our radio show, and we had a caller come in.
I know.
And they said, "I've got on PMI, private mortgage insurance." They said, "Well, I got private mortgage insurance. If I don't make the payment, doesn't that mean the bank's going to make the payment for me?" The public thinks when you find out that it's insured that the public's being insured. They're not being insured. The lenders are getting the insurance.
But also at the same time, they're trying to lend an air of legitimacy
Like
by
the
saying
government's behind
this
it.
is backed by the United States government.
So I have to say, I was devastatingly disappointed in the Fonz because as a teenager watching that show, he was a hero to me.
Yeah, but now he wants to jump the shark.
Yeah. And also Robert Wagner is another one.
Went
I used
right
to,
over his head.
Yeah. What am I
Jump the
missing?
shark? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Just keep
even-
going with the show. Don't worry.
Can you explain it for
I
the
can.
audience?
That's when the term jump the shark comes from when the character, the Fonz, decided to go water skiing and jump over the sharks
Oh, my God.
on the
You were a greater fan of Happy Days
no,
than I was.
and the term
apparently.
jump the shark has become synonymous with TV programming that is trying to do anything and everything that it can to garner an audience when they should just cancel the show.
Oh, you mean that would be like CNN?
Yes,
On
and
the coverage
Fox, to be
on-
quite
coverage on
honest,
news.
also.
Okay. All right. So let's move on off of this. Now I understand jump the shark. Thank you. And for those of you, the four of you in the TV and radio audience who didn't understand that term that were on my side, now you have the benefit of understanding what jump the shark means as well. So everyone should know that term. Key points to a reverse mortgage. You can convert the home equity into cash with no monthly mortgage payment. You are still required to make your payments of taxes and insurance and maintaining the home within FHA guidelines, which can be a big problem because if you don't do that, you can lose the home. So you have to be careful of
that one factor right there, I see more people that come into my office and they say, I didn't understand that I had to pay my property taxes and my insurance. I thought the mortgage company was doing that. There is
Big problem.
such confusion out there, and those lenders are all they want to do is get you to sign on the bottom line as fast as you humanly can.
Yeah, when we get back to the break, I want to talk specifically about that point with regard to the lenders because you have to watch them. I'll give you a quick definition of a reverse mortgage. It uses the home's equity as collateral. The amount of money that you can borrow is determined by the age of the youngest borrower, interest rates, and the lesser of the home's value, and the sales price, and the maximum lending amount.
It's devastating, the effects of debt and foreclosure on you and your family. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem. Some fear the word bankruptcy, but in reality, it's a strategy to save your home and to eliminate debt. If you're in financial trouble, timing is critical. You need to take action now. We've been saving homes and eliminating debt for over 33 years.
Call Fav Gross 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Fav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Fav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem. Welcome back. I want to let everyone know that the research department at Law and Reality looked into the issue of Jump the Shark, and that episode aired on May 3rd, 1977 on Happy Days, and I think you can find it on YouTube if you're interested. Just another research phenomenon by the Law and Reality research.
I'd rather go back and watch old episodes of WKRP in Cincinnati.
All right, back to the reverse mortgage. That was a good show. Generally now you pull the equity out, and you can get the equity out in one of two ways. You can get 10-year payments, which means you can get a stated monthly payment out each month on the home, and that will continue until 6 months after the last spouse either passes away or stops living in the home. So if husband and wife take out the reverse mortgage, wife is the youngest person. If wife ends up if husband passes away, wife ends up in nursing home, 6 months after ending up in nursing home, at that point the loan would become due and the payments would stop. But as long as someone's still living in the home, the payments continue. Now, so that can be a good thing. And if the payment amount that you receive exceeds the amount of the value of the home after the loan becomes due, the estate cannot be held liable. You have to understand this is still a loan. So at the end, while you're taking the money out, interest is accumulating on the loan, even though you're not making payments on the loan. So at the day of reckoning, the house will get sold, and if the house, you then have to pay back the original amount you borrowed, plus all the interest, all the fees, and at that point, if there's any equity left, it goes to your estate. You get to keep the money. But if you're short, you don't have to pay the shortfall. And that part's a good deal.
So effectively what you have is a non-recourse loan. They can't come back after your estate for any deficiency balance.
Correct.
And you don't have to make any payments on the loan. However, one of the things that is really important here is and I point out, it says the loan has to be repaid 6 months after the last surviving homeowner moves out or passes away. The passes away part, okay, the homeowner's dead, you're dead. That's it. Don't worry about it. It's the move out part.
Don't go move into an apartment.
And the move out part is the unknown. You see, when you take out a reverse mortgage, you have to worry. The theory is you live in that house until you die. Is that house suitable for you when you get older?
Because, for instance, suppose the bedrooms are upstairs, and all of a sudden you can't climb the stairs.
Right. You can't climb the stairs.
Really good point. So here's what because when you do a reverse mortgage, you need to do it from the standpoint of the plan is stay in the house. So if you don't know, if you're 70 and you're agile and you're running and you're in really great shape, you don't know where you're going to be at 92. You may not be able to go up the stairs, to get to the bedroom and everything. You need to investigate. If I'm going to do this reverse mortgage, I have to plan on staying in the house. If I have to modify the home to put in one of those stairway things that go up the stairs, the chair that attaches to the stairwell to go up, that's a way of accommodating that problem. But you need to make sure that you're committed to staying in the home, because if you pull out early, the loan becomes due.
And you have to think beyond that. You have to think about the ability to have zero entrance bathrooms and things like that, where if you become wheelchair bound, and these are things that really happen as you get older, and people don't think of that when they're going, I just need to take money out of my house.
It's a good point. I want to kind of wrap up on a couple things in reverse mortgages, because I want to get to the student loan debt, and then if we have more time we can come back. But first of all, it's very difficult to even determine how much you can borrow on a reverse mortgage. Well, if you go online, I'll give you a way to find out. And the only site I could find that you can plug in the data without giving your phone number and being solicited by a mortgage company. Go to Google HUD, HECMs, and that'll take you to the government site. And then there's a calculator there that you can click on. I'm also going to put up on the screen the long version of the link, but it's a long version. The easy way to get there is to go to the HUD site. That's our government site, and there's a calculator. But when you use the calculator, you'll find out it's complicated. I'll give you a quick number. If the value of your house was $450,000 and husband and wife were both 80 years old, in that circumstance, according to the calculator, on current interest rate numbers on a variable rate, you could then pull out $2,021.66 per month out of the home on a reverse mortgage. And that could be a good supplement for retirement. Here are the precautions. Number one is you need to shop carefully if you're interested in a reverse mortgage. And whatever you do, do not commit with the lender until you've had it reviewed by a key financial advisor, somebody who's familiar with the issues, a lawyer, a CPA, your financial advisor, who will be able to give you an objective view as to whether this is a good thing or not, because there's a lot of dangers. The interest rates vary. You have to make sure that the loan is based on the age of the youngest spouse and that both are borrowers. Otherwise, you can find out that when the husband ends up going in the nursing home, the spouse ends up losing the house. It can be a big problem. And number two, use this only as a retirement supplement. Do not use a reverse mortgage to pay off debt or credit cards. That's a fatal mistake. There are better solutions to getting rid of that debt. If you have equity in that house, you've accomplished a good thing, and we need to use that equity in the house for your retirement. The whole idea is to make sure you have enough money available to yourself for food, shelter, and clothing until your last day. And if you get suckered into taking the equity of your home to pay off credit card debt, you're going to end up being cash short at the end of the day. You need to be careful about these things. All right, I think that let's say goodbye to reverse mortgages for now. I want to talk about this new student loan article that I saw, and it's called The New Math of Student Loans. And I'll throw it out to you, Brian, because I know you've got a lot of
I read the article and I thought I was going to throw up, but you can throw it out.
Right now, private student loans are offering more competitive interest rates than government student loans. And the genesis of this article is making this suggestion, that it might be smarter to do a private student loan rather than a government student loan, because if you have a good credit score as a parent, you could probably get a better interest rate. Now that's the issue. I want you to think about that, let it fester. When we come back from the break, Brian's going to go crazy on this idea.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Fav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Fav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you're approaching retirement and don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your investments, and your savings. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Putting a solid strategy in place with Simasko Law legally protects your assets as well as your wishes. Since a will doesn't cover you medically or financially, Simasko Law goes beyond ordinary asset management protection to safeguard everything you have.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Simasko Law today.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Fav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Fav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, welcome back. Before we give Brian the chance to go crazy and patch out about this new concept of private student loans as being a better strategy than government-backed, I want to do quick announcements. Watch the TV version of Law and Reality Sundays at 11 on TV 20. Our office at Thav Gross is now open in Flint. If you have any Flint friends, let them know that we're there and available to help for all legal problems. Wednesday, July 15th, we have a seminar coming up, Save Money Through Debt Elimination. That's at our offices in Bingham Farms. All the strategies we employ to preserve future income for you and your family. Bankruptcy is one option. Solutions outside of bankruptcy are another. Tax problems, how to settle credit card debt. When is it smart to take the action? What's the effect on your credit score? How important is your credit score in the big picture? What's the strategy for retirement? All these issues are covered. The seminar is free. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. You want to sign up for the seminar, go to lawandreality.com or call 888-235-HELP. The Law and Reality website is a new site. It's got free reports. You just click on the link and we will email you the free report. Retiree's Guide to Social Security from Pat Samasco. Also, a Reg X report on how to save your home from foreclosure and gain a loan modification using Reg X, written by myself. Both of those reports are free. Go to lawandreality.com website, and you can get them. Or you can also call the office to register for seminars or get free reports at 888-235-HELP. I want to thank our sponsors, Samasco Law and Thav Gross. And now I want to turn back to Brian Small. This is here's let me set the stage. The article is suggesting that the private student loans have become more price competitive. They are actually lower than the interest costs that are charged by some of the government loans, and they are suggesting that could be a better alternative. Even though they're saying right in the article that a private loan typically has to be guaranteed by the parent, whereas a government-backed loan like a Stafford loan does not. So I want to know what your reaction was when you read the article without using any prohibited four-letter words.
Did you ever watch a movie where somebody makes a deal with the devil?
I'm not really big on the devil movies. No,
well,
I never saw that.
You sign your soul away.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen that like with the mafia deals.
Kind of similar.
Okay.
Taking out a private student loan is like signing your soul away. It is there. See, when you take out a regular credit card loan, you can discharge that in bankruptcy. When you take out your mortgage, you can discharge that in bankruptcy. When you owe income taxes to the IRS, you can discharge that in bankruptcy.
If you meet your fancy three-prong rule.
Right.
Okay.
But you know what you can't do when it's a student loan? You can never escape them. You can escape taxes, and you can't escape a student loan.
So if I can't escape it, then I might as well get the cheapest interest rate, right?
Well, you see, private student loan lenders don't have any programs when you can't afford to repay. And we all think that we're going to be in a position...
And who does have repayment programs?
Well, we all think we're going to be in a position to repay our student loans. Or we co-sign our student loans for our children because they're going to come out of college and they're going to get great jobs and be able to pay those student loans. Reality. Your kid comes out of college and he's making $25,000, $30,000 a year, can barely afford to keep a roof over his head, clearly can't afford to pay those student loans because $100,000 for the student loans is $800 a month.
So if you guarantee the student loan, what's going to happen?
They're coming after you. They're going to collect it from you. And there's no defense. And on top of it, if you default on the loans, they can tack about another 18% in collection fees on top of it. And by the time all is said and done, the only way you're going to escape that student loan is to end up in a pine box.
All right, let me give you another one that was not emphasized in the article, which is a big factor. If you're able to get a Stafford loan, government-backed loan, which it doesn't matter, even if families with $100,000 of income plus are able to get student Stafford loans. It's right in the article. When you have a Stafford loan, you do not pay interest on the loan until you graduate.
Right.
When you have a private student loan,
payments come due immediately.
Interest starts to accrue right away, regardless of when the payments start. Even if you defer payments, you're paying the interest on that. That becomes an enormous amount of money.
And on top of it, the private student loans do not have what the government-backed student loans have available to you, which is income-based repayment, income-contingent repayment, income-sensitive repayment programs that allow you to reduce the payment back that you're paying back on a monthly basis to an affordable level. They just say, listen, your payment is this. We can do a little bit of help for you. We can lower the interest rate by 0.25%.
I know.
That's it.
I'm completely with you. In fact, just to give you the statistic, 34% of undergraduates with family income of $100,000 or more received Stafford loans at colleges. That's from 2011 and 2012 analysis. In this article, it suggests going private, and it makes the following statements. It says, families should shop around for lenders that are offering fixed rates below the plus loan 8.4%. That's what they're suggesting you do on a private student loan. What do we say? No, you should not do that, because you shouldn't take the private student loan and have the parents guarantee it. There's no sense adding more fish on the hook than need be. The government-backed student loans has better repayment obligations. The next one, borrowers with higher credit scores get the best rates. That's going to be the parents. Do not use your credit to buy the student loan. That's a big mistake.
I'll go one further. Do not take out a student loan. I'll say this again, and I've said it before. Do not take out a student loan and co-sign a student loan if you expect your child to repay the debt. If you want to borrow money and you're going to pay it back and you're co-signing for your kid, I get it. But be prepared to pay it back, because unfortunately, your child might disappoint you.
You're absolutely right. The other one that comes out right in this, it says graduates who have established credit should consider doing it. Same thing. The government-backed student loan has better repayment obligations, or repayment options.
Do not make a deal with the devil.
That'll kind of wrap up. And so the bottom line is, be careful out there. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.